What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with my 2024 Emmy nominations predictions. I'm going to go through all the major series and acting categories for drama series, comedy series, limited series, tell you who I think will get nominated, who I wish would be nominated, and then next week when the nominations are announced on the 17th, I'll be back to react to who actually did get nominated and what I think about that. And of course, Emmy predictions later in the year when the Emmys are coming up. More or less, we're back to your regularly scheduled Emmy programming. Of course, the Emmys were strike delayed last year. Now they're back in September like they usually are. Of course, the Emmy period is unchanged. We're talking June to June, last year to this year. So keep that in mind because a lot of big shows, Emmy contending shows that are airing right now are not in the mix for the Emmys we're going to be talking about that will be airing in September. So that includes House of the Dragon Season 2, the most recent season of The Boys, the Star Wars series The Acolyte, The Bear Season 3. The Bear will be nominated at the Emmys this year, but that'll be The Bear Season 2 from last year. Just keep that in mind. It's a bit confusing. Also, Presumed Innocent on Apple, another show that's not in the mix for the Emmys this year. And the other side of that coin, I actually think this could be a more interesting Emmy year because a lot of big contenders, a lot of usual suspects at the Emmys are not in the mix this year either because the show ended, such as Succession, such as Better Call Saul, or were in between seasons like Euphoria, The White Lotus, The Last of Us. The list goes on. So there's room for new winners, I think, especially on the drama side of things. We'll see if that actually pans out or we kind of get the usual Emmy voting trends where a small amount of series kind of dominate and get a ton of nominations, and thus, as a result, not enough shows really get represented. We'll see if that trend gets broken. I'm not super optimistic. We'll go into that, but we'll see. And of course, leave a comment. Let me know, who do you want to see nominated? What show do you want to see get nominated? I think this is the most fun time to think about the Emmys when we're talking about the possibility, before inevitably the Emmys give us a result that is almost always quite good. Like there's never really anything egregious in terms of who gets nominated. It's just there's not enough space really to recognize people usually. But yeah, let me know what you think, what you want to see. But let's kind of jump right into the series right here, and that'll be Best Drama Series. And I think this is, on its surface, a field that will have a lot of new blood in it. We're talking Shogun, we're talking Fallout on Amazon, we're talking Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon, The Curse from Showtime. In terms of, returning shows, I think The Gilded Age is in the mix here. It wasn't nominated with season 1. The Crown, which is a previous winner, is definitely a big contender this time around. And then kind of we'll see like what else gets to like fill it out there. Like, does Netflix get Three Body Problem across the line? Does Apple get recognized for Slow Horses? I don't know, was that season 3, whatever season it is, can something kind of unforeseen, but we would really like to see, like the second and final season of HBO's Tokyo Vice, like can that get through? I feel like Apple's The Morning Show for season 3, a show that's polarizing, not even super well liked critically, that'll probably still get through as a show that actually was never nominated before. I thought it had gotten through, but I guess this will make sense that it'll finally get across. And it'll be awesome that Mr. and Mrs. Smith gets nominated. I think Fallout's very well deserved. The Crown, previous winner. I think this is kind of like the battle right here. It's The Crown versus Shogun because it feels like Shogun from FX has a ton of juice, and that is the best show of the year thus far. I've talked at length about how much I love Shogun, so I'm rooting for Shogun and happy that it'll clean up in terms of Emmy nominations and probably wins. So that's not a big deal to me. So we'll just see, in a few months if The Crown is the spoiler, so to speak. But I'm thinking Shogun, The Crown, Fallout, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Morning Show. Those 5 are definitely in. I think The Gilded Age is probably definitely in. So that's 6. And then it's the question of like Curse, Three Body Problem, Slow Horses, something else, Apple's Hijack, maybe, I don't know. Notably Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Apple's Hijack. All those shows are in drama series, not in mini series, not limited series, even though they kind of were announced as limited series. They've since become ongoing series. So we're kind of moved beyond the time where like White Lotus season 1 wins for limited series and joke's on us, just kidding, show's coming back. So anyway, that's drama series. So I think definitely some new blood. And then I feel like it's Shogun versus The Crown overall. Comedy series, well, The Bear is going to be nominated in comedy series again, even though the show is not a comedy. Anyone who's actually watched the show would agree with that. It's a show that has funny moments, like many drama series do. But overall, The Bear is a show about familial trauma and grief and finding motivation for your professional life and your creativity. Like, it is not a comedy. Nonetheless, it's going to be nominated for Best Comedy Series, so you're going to see, and it's probably going to win because this is The Bear Season 2, which was the level up season, amazing season. However you feel about The Bear Season 3, I just reviewed it, let me know what you think. This is for The Bear Season 2, which was critically adored, universally loved. And The Bear Season 2 is going up against Hacks Season 3, the most recent season of Hacks, as well as Abbott Elementary, Curb Your Enthusiasm's comeback, Only Murders in the Building. I think that's a pretty solid, top 5 right there. I think they're all very safe to get nominated. And then how that gets filled out, I think is pretty interesting. Will the third and final season of Reservation Dogs get nominated? A show that hasn't been nominated before, even though Res Dogs Season 2 probably definitely deserved to be nominated. Season 3, less popular critically. I don't really see it in terms of the juice from FX when they're pushing The Bear so heavily. I don't know. That would be good. Amazon and Boots Riley's I'm a Virgo would be very justified. Don't know if it's going to happen. I would love The Righteous Gemstones from HBO to get across the line here. It hasn't yet to this point. That would be awesome. One of the funniest shows on TV. Could Girls 5 Eva, now a Netflix show, could that finally get Emmy attention it didn't get in its previous life? I don't know. What We Do in the Shadows, this would be Season 5, previously nominated, but not nominated last time for Season 4. It feels like the Emmy juice has kind of faded. So, how to fill out this, field here, you have The Gentleman on Netflix, the Guy Ritchie series. Feels like hard on its face to, see that getting Emmy nominated, but I don't know, it could happen. So I'm not really sure how the rest of that goes out, but that top 5, Bear, Hacks, Abbott, Curb, Only Murders, that feels very safe, and we'll throw The Gentleman in there. And yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like we'll get some surprise at the back end of this comedy series. Limited series, like most years, pretty stacked field, all things considered. Only 5 shows get through, so hard to say what happens. I think in general, you default to the buzzy shows at the big networks that kind of get across the line, usually with stars. But this time around, it feels like the leader in the clubhouse would be Baby Reindeer at Netflix, which really kind of came out of nowhere in contrast to Ripley, also at Netflix. Ripley, the more critically adored, with more famous actors, more famous creators behind it. Andrew Scott, Steve Zalian, the famous source material, all of that. Then you have Baby Reindeer, the classic Netflix sensation, a show that only could have blown up the way it did by being on Netflix, right? They're probably both getting in, and it'll just be funny if Baby Reindeer is actually the one that comes across the line. And then how you fill that out? I think True Detective Night Country from HBO will get through. I think Fargo, what is that? What are we on, season 6? The most recent season of Fargo. I don't think it's going to win, but I think it was definitely good enough to be nominated. That's 4 out of 5. So what is that 5th show? We have Lessons in Chemistry on Apple TV+, the Brie Larson series. I'm not too confident in that one. We have Masters of the Air on Apple. Can Apple get that through? I'm not too sure. These are both shows with flaws, to say the least. How about The Sympathizer on HBO, Park Chan-wook series? Don't know if it has enough Emmy juice. I'm not sure. That'd probably be my pick, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. I think Expats on Amazon Prime Video just didn't happen. That's not gonna happen. A Murder at the End of the World from FX last year. Don't think so. Manhunt on Apple TV Plus. I think, again, if anything, they have other shows ahead that they're trying to push, like Masters of the Air and Lessons in Chemistry, so I doubt it. The Fall of the House of Usher, horror series. Probably not. Is there room for something on a smaller network, like A Gentleman in Moscow, Paramount Plus? I'm not sure. So yeah, I think it's a top 4, and then what that 5th spot is probably the one that's really up in the air, the one that could surprise, but we'll see. Best Actor in a Drama Series, Shogun's gonna definitely clean up here, I think, with 2 noms. Hiroki Sanada as Toranaga, and Cosmo Jarvis as the Anjin, both from Shogun. Lock them in. Those are happening. I think Sanada's leader in the clubhouse in terms of the winner, much like someone else on the show. We'll talk about in a second. And then how that gets filled out, interesting. I think Donald Glover for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, super well justified. Would love to see that. I think he's in. And then do we have Dominic West, newcomer to the Crown? Probably. Do we have Morgan Spector for the Gilded Age? I'm not too sure about that, even if I pick the Gilded Age to get in for series. I don't know. Could Gary Oldman get in for Slow Horses if that comes through? We'll see. Nathan Fielder for The Curse, same thing. It maybe depends if the series nomination happens. Also in the mix, Idris Elba for Hijack. Walton Goggins as the ghoul on Fallout Season 1? Maybe? I don't think so, but it could happen. I think Ansel Elgort and Ken Watanabe for Tokyo Vice, not going to happen. Colin Farrell for Sugar, a show I didn't even mention in the series talk, probably not. Tom Hiddleston for Loki Season 2, don't think so. So yeah, I think most of that's pretty easy to see. And then what is that last spot? Is it Morgan Spector? Is it Oldman? Is it Fielder? Not sure. Best Actress in a Drama Series, obviously Anna Sawai from Shogun, Mariko Sama. So damn good. I can't wait for this nom. I can't wait for this win. It's so well justified. We'll be flying that flag until the Emmys happen. We know that. Emma Stone for The Curse. Given that Emma Stone has a lot of awards juice, a lot of industry adoration, much more so than Nathan Fielder does, I think she's pretty safe for a nomination here. You have Imelda Staunton also for the last half of The Crown. Makes sense. Carrie Coon for The Gilded Age, perhaps. She has, I believe she was nominated for The Leftovers back in the day. I don't remember. So she definitely seems to have more juice than Morgan Spector does anyway. Maya Erskine for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think that definitely should happen. She was absolutely fantastic on that series. Definitely want to see that. So we'll see. But definitely rooting for that. And Ella Purnell, the best thing about Fallout, in my opinion. So I'd like to see that. I think that would be a really nice field. The question is, does Jennifer Aniston or Reese Witherspoon crash the party for the morning show? They both previously were nominated for that show. I'm not sure. I want to shout out Jess Hong on Three Body Problem. I liked her quite a bit. I'm not sure if the show has enough juice. Rosario Dawson for Ahsoka. I don't think it's going to happen. That's okay in my opinion as well. Rachel Keller for Tokyo Vice. Not going to happen. Moving forward to Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. I think Shogun, again, with Tadanobu Asano. Amazing supporting performance. He was so damn good. And I think those 4 performances from Shogun all definitely should be nominated. I think it will happen. He's probably going up against the previous winner in this category, Billy Crudup, for the morning show. So I think that's the fight there. Other people in the mix, Jonathan Pryce on The Crown, Mark Duplass on the morning show, previous nominee. Benny Safdie could be in the mix for The Curse. I'm not sure. There's other guys on Shogun, such as Takahiro Hira and Tokuma Nishioka. They played Hiromatsu and Ishido. I would not be shocked if one or both of them gets through, if Shogun just gets a ton of nominations, and it's an example of that trend of a show getting a ton of nominations and not a lot of shows getting represented as a result. Think of when White Lotus, basically the entire cast last time around, got nominated. Maybe something like that could happen with Shogun. Given how much I love Shogun, I would not be super mad, but I'll probably pick against it happening, given the fact that we're talking about international actors in this case for the most part. Jack Loud and Slow Horses, I don't know. All the guys on Three Body Problem, I don't think so. This is a really hard one. I think there's opportunity for something unforeseen at the back half of this. Now, what I would love to see would be Sho Kasamatsu Sato on Tokyo Vice. If that nomination for Tokyo Vice Season 2 could happen, if that's the one thing Tokyo Vice could get, that'd be so justified. The Emmys were just that would happen. Anyone who's watched Tokyo Vice would tell you that Sato is the best aspect of that show. Absolute scene stealer, amazing performance, amazing presence. It's not going to happen. But I really wish it would. That would be so awesome. But, let's be real. Do you expect the Television Academy to nominate an Asian actor from another show when they're going to nominate a ton of Asian actors for Shogun? Let's look at history. Unfortunately, probably not going to happen. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, you have Elizabeth Debicki on The Crown, previous nominee as Diana. You have Leslie Manville on The Crown, newcomer. You have some of the Gilded Age people like Christine Baranski and Cynthia Nixon, staples in the industry. Overall, this category is pretty interesting because you have Moika Hoshi and Fumi Nikaido as Shogun. I'm not sure they have a ton of juice to get through, but it feels like a kind of weaker category. Like, could Kristen Scott Thomas get through for Slow Horses? Isaac Gonzalez for Three Body Problem? I'm not sure. Greta Lee for The Morning Show? I've heard pretty mixed things on that performance, but Greta Lee was so awesome in Past Lives, right? In terms of the Oscars last year. So who knows, right? This one's complete crapshoot to me. There's more people in The Morning Show in the mix here. Olivia Williams on The Crown, Leslie Uggams on Fallout season 1. I don't know. That one I don't have a good feel. I wish Winning Time season 2 had more juice for drama categories. Quincy Isaiah was so amazing as Magic Johnson. That show's been canceled, obviously. Don't see it, but that would be pretty nice. Best Actor in a Comedy Series: Jeremy Allen White, previous winner for season 1 of The Bear, even though it's not a comedy. Larry David, of course, previous nominee. Martin Short and Steve Martin for Only Murders, previous nominees. That 4 feels pretty safe. Who else is in the mix here for the last spot? Theo James, star of The Gentleman, maybe? Just kind of thinking about it, like, again, Danny McBride for What We Do in the Shadows, would love it. Matthew Berry or Kayvon Novak for What We Do in the Shadows, would love it. Danny McBride for Righteous Gemstones, rather. I don't think I said that right. Jarrell Jerome for I'm a Virgo. There's cool picks to make here, but like, will that happen? I'm not really sure. Kelsey Grammer, I guess, tangentially in the mix for the Frasier reboot. We can leave that one alone. Comedy actress. Similarly, we have 2 previous winners, the last 2 winners, going head to head here with Jean Smart for Hacks and Ayo Edebiri for The Bear. And then you also have Quinta Brunson in the mix, previous nominee, and of course winning for writing for Abbott Elementary. So that's a kind of 3-headed monster in this category again. So that's pretty exciting. I don't really know where my lean is on that right now. Probably Ayo, but I would not be shocked. Jean Smart pulls it off. I really enjoyed Hacks season 3. Selena Gomez also in the mix here for Only Murders. And then like that last spot, Natasha Demetrio for What We Do in the Shadows, would love to see it. Edie Patterson for Righteous Gemstones. Goddamn, please can that happen? Like, that would be so good. Some of the ladies on Girls 5 Eva, like Renee Elise Goldsberry or Sarah Bareilles, that would be nice. Devery Jacobs on Res Dogs, I don't know. We'll see. Best Comedy Actor in a Comedy Series, of course, you have the previous winner, Evan Moss Baccarat for The Bear. He'll definitely be here. Tyler James Williams, previous nominee for Abbott. He will be here. And then I'm curious if this is another Emmy overdoing it type thing where like everyone on The Bear gets nominated. Like, could Lionel Boyce and Oliver Platt and Maddie Matheson all be in here for The Bear season 2? Who knows? It was a really good Lionel Boyce season last time, so I wouldn't be too mad about that. Paul W. Downs from Hacks, maybe. Of course, Bowen Yang for SNL, previous nominee, still in the mix here. Carl Clemens Hopkins for Hacks, previous nominee, he's still here. Awards favorite, Giancarlo Esposito for The Gentleman, I don't know. Of course, I'd love Mark Prosch on What We Do in the Shadows to get through, but alas. How about comedy series? Supporting actress, Hannah Einbinder, previous nominee for Hacks, she will be here. Cheryl Lee Ralph, previous winner for Abbott, she will be here. Janelle James, previous Abbott nominee, she will be here. So that's 3. I think Meryl Streep, newcomer to Only Murders, pretty safe bet given how dominant Meryl is at awards nominations in her late career. I think that's in there. Could Abby Elliott get through on The Bear? That would be, or even Liza Collins-Zayas, Tina on The Bear. Could that happen? Molly Gordon, newcomer to The Bear season 2. We'll see. Probably kind of picking against that much Bear, but we'll see what happens. Don't usually talk about guest actor, but I think guest actor in a comedy series would be awesome if John Bernthal could get through for Bear season 2. But The Bear has a lot of good options, right? Jamie Lee Curtis, John Mulaney, anyone from the Fishes episode, really. Best actor in the limited series, I think this one's pretty top heavy for sure. You have John Hamm, kind of the buzzy edition of Fargo this time around, makes a lot of sense. Andrew Scott, the lead of Ripley, definitely. Richard Gadd, the unexpectedly here, obviously lead of Baby Reindeer. I feel like they're all in, and how that gets filled out, we'll see. But those 3 make a lot of sense to me. Maybe Austin Butler having a lot of juice right now, her Masters of the Air. I don't know. Best Actress in Limited Series, Brie Larson makes a lot of sense here. If Lessons in Chemistry gets nominated. Juno Temple, newcomer to Fargo, makes a lot of sense. Of course, Jodie Foster for True Detective Night Country makes a ton of sense. Nicole Kidman for Expats, I think not. Emma Corrin and Murder at the End of the World, I think not. Of course, previous, awards people. Oh, I didn't even recognize this. Is looking at my notes here. The Idol on HBO. Remember that? I think in an alternate universe, The Idol would have been a big limited series contender, and Lily Rose Depp maybe gets an actress nomination. Sam Levinson gets writing nominations, but that's not happening. We know that. We know what happened with The Idol. Supporting actor in a limited series, I feel like this win is definitely going to be Robert Downey Jr. for The Sympathizer. The fact that he played like 5 different characters on the show. He did a really good job on the show as well. It makes a lot of sense to me. I wouldn't mind seeing John Hawkes from True Detective as well. Supporting actress in limited series, I'd love to see Callie Reese get in here for True Detective Night Country. That would make a lot of sense. Wouldn't be shocked to see Lily Gladstone for Under the Bridge, given the awards juice she recently has. And now, obviously, with Killers of the Flower Moon, I think this is where we'll get more Baby Reindeer people like Jessica Gunning and Nava Mao, for example. Jennifer Jason Leigh, newcomer to Fargo, makes a lot of sense here. But yeah, that is the Emmy nominations predictions for the big categories. It's going to be a big night for Shogun. It's going to be a big night for The Bear. Probably big night for Baby Reindeer. Those are probably our triumvirate this year. And there's opportunity for more shows to be recognized. We'll see if The Bear and Shogun don't just swallow everything up for the most part. We'll find out. But it is fun when you have opportunity for new wins because a lot of the usual suspects aren't around. So let me know, who do you want to see nominated? What shows do you want to see recognized? Let me know. And of course, make sure you come back next week when I react to the actual nominations, and we'll go from there. Of course, subscribe, youtube.com/nostalgiapod. More Emmy predictions, award predictions, movie, TV reviews. Subscribe. I'll see you next time.